The following is a presentation of Grayson Publishing.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
It's regional finals championship time in Texas for the Lady Bulldogs.
I need you to hurry up now, cause I can't wait much longer.
Lady Bulldogs softball is brought to you by Micah Belden Attorneys, Scoggins Funeral Home, Abby's Restaurant, the Howe Athletic Booster Club, Cavender Home Theater, and Douglas Propane. Now we go live to Texas A&M University in Commerce with the live action from Monty Walker and Michael Mosier.
Well, we made it, Michael. We made it. We thought we weren't going to make it here for a moment, but we are here. We are in Commerce, and it is the Class 3A Region 2 finals here, Region Finals here in Texas A&M Commerce. A lovely field, a hazy evening over here in Commerce, but a blue infield, so maybe that makes up for it, Michael.
Yeah, maybe. It was been pretty humid over here tonight too.
This is the second game of the series. Hughes Springs won game one 8-3 on Thursday night. Zoe Lanier was the starting pitcher for the Lady Mustangs. She went 4 innings in the start, and she is an off-speed pitcher, curveball type pitcher. And then they bring in the hammer, Marisol Kennedy, for the final 3 innings, and she is the fastball strikeout pitcher and was pretty dominant, has been dominant all year long. We imagine we will see the same combination tonight. Tori Stubblefield was the starting pitcher for the Lady Bulldogs on Thursday night, as she took the loss, actually, went all 7 innings for Howe. She threw 97 pitches, but was touched up for 9 hits. She struck out 4. But the problem was there were 3 walks and a hit batter in there that, at times there can be some wildness from Miss Stubblefield, but it'll be Madison Hargrove on the bump tonight, as she will be in the circle and get her shot in the series. And should things go right for the Lady Bulldogs, we would imagine we will see Stubblefield and probably both. It's an all hands on deck situation at this point from here on out. And you would imagine both Stubblefield and Hargrove will be available for the next game, should there be one.
Yeah, that game, you may have to talk me all the way home. It'll be a late night.
Let's go ahead and give you the starting lineups for both teams. The visitors tonight will be Hughes Springs, as they were the home team on Thursday night. And leading off for Hughes Springs will be Peyton Blythe, the center fielder. Now, she's the best hitter by far in either dugout tonight. She comes in, or into the season rather, with a .505 average, 8 homers, 6 doubles, 6 triples, 36 RBI, 63 runs scored, and 42 stolen bases. And Michael Mosier, I wasn't able to be here Thursday night. You said she can fly.
Oh, she's fast. She can definitely get around the base path. She's pretty quick.
They've got her at the top of the lineup for a good reason. You want your best player to get the most at-bats at the end of the year, and she's going to consume those. Batting second and catching, Kennedy Northam. Northam on the year bats .452, 7 doubles, 28 RBI, 52 runs, and 13 stolen bases. Batting third is Shelby Fickling, and she's a .406 hitter, 5 homers, 8 doubles, 38 RBI, and 36 runs. Batting cleanup for Hughes Springs will be Haley Wilson, a junior. She bats .396, 8 home runs, 12 doubles, 56 RBI, and 39 runs. Another thing about this Hughes Springs team, as we make it through the top of the lineup, that they only have 1 senior. Sophomores and juniors up and down. There's 1 senior, and that is Caitlin Roth, and she bats last in the lineup. But we'll move on through, as Marisol Kennedy, the third baseman, she'll bat 5th, and she's good both at third base and at the plate and on the mound. We talked about her being the kind of the stopper coming in the 5th inning. She's a sophomore. She bats .372 with a homer, 7 doubles, 31 RBI, 28 runs. I bet we see her at some point tonight, whether there's game 1 or game 2. On the mound, she's 16-2 with a 1.24 ERA, 113 strikeouts in 117 innings. That's incredibly impressive, but maybe even more so impressive, only 20 walks on the season. Batting 6th at shortstop will be Kinsley Eccles. She's a junior. She bats .370 with a homer, 7 doubles, 20 RBIs, and 23 runs scored. Abby McKinney will bat 7th, and she will be the designated player, so to speak, and she's a sophomore with 15 RBI and 15 runs scored. Charlie Reeves will bat 8th. That's the left fielder. Charlie's a junior, batting .299, 4 triples, 28 RBI, 20 runs, and 12 stolen bases. And we told you about the only senior on the roster batting 9th, Caitlin Roth. And she is the right fielder in tonight's game. For the Lady Bulldogs, the home team tonight, Madison Hargrove will be pitching, as we told you. Leading off at shortstop, Erin Blackburn. She's got speed. The very talented center fielder batting 2nd, number 27, Peyton Streetman. Batting 3rd is your pitcher tonight, number 11, Madison Hargrove. And cleaning up right behind her is at 2nd base, not pitching, at least not to start, is Tori Stubblefield. At first base, these are a lot of seniors and a lot of talented seniors who have had a lot of playoff experience. And Kayla Anderson is one of those. She'll bat 5th and play first base. Peyton Griffin, another one at 3rd base. They have a couple of girls right in the middle of the heart of that order that can take the ball out of the ballpark at any moment in Stubblefield, Anderson, and Griffin. And batting 7th, the catching will be Danny Ross, another senior. And in left field, batting 8th will be Cameron Fulenchek, another senior. And then we'll round out the senior crew in right field. Number 5, Emily Sanders, will bat 9th. Ought to be an interesting game. We have the number 1 ranked in the state, Hughes Springs Lady Mustangs, and the number 7 ranked Lady Bulldogs. Hughes Springs is 33-3 on the year, whereas Howe comes in at 23-10 after the loss on Thursday night. Now, Zoe Lanier, the starting pitcher for Hughes Springs, she's a sophomore. She pitched the Lady Mustangs into the quarterfinals a year ago as a freshman, so they feel pretty good about their chances even with the sophomore on the hill. Against Commerce last week, she went to her typical 4 innings, struck out 5, walked 1, throwing mostly curveballs. She faced 23 batters in the game, which is 2 over the minimum. She is the slow it down curveball pitcher, whereas we mentioned Kennedy will come in and just hammer the ball in, much like Tori Stubblefield. We're going to take a quick timeout, and we'll have some commercials for you because we are very thankful for those who were able to sponsor this year's Lady Bulldogs broadcast, and we'll be right back with more action.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
For my family, life is a series of celebrations, from my newest born cousin to my grandmother. We all partake in births, weddings, and funerals. Wherever we celebrate, we need to feel welcome. That's why we choose Scoggins Funeral Home in Howe. Scoggins Funeral Home understands our needs. Talk to the caring staff at Scoggins Funeral Home. Call 903-532-5577 or visit scogginsfuneralhome.com.
Abby's Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. Give them a call, 903-487-8860. Abby's Restaurant.
The Howe Athletic Booster Club invites you to become a supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
The type of kids we have, they're just hard workers and do anything you ask.
Memberships are $25 and will be available at all home games. All proceeds benefit high school and middle school athletic programs. Please join the Howe Athletic Booster Club in our efforts to support our hometown kids.
When people come here, you know, it's something they can be proud of.
What is Cavender Home Theater? Do we only do those big fancy media rooms? Heck no. We started in 1978 installing TV antennas. Guess what? We still do and get over 40 Dallas channels that way for our customers. Along the way, we had requests to install speakers, mount TVs, or install dish, so now we do it all. From hooking up a TV with a soundbar to whole house audio with all the bells and whistles. Visit CavenderHT.com to see all we have to offer or call 903-892-3499.
A word from Douglas Propane.
My tenured drivers are 5 to 7 years, and then our combined experience, you know, the benefit of the era that we live in is the smartphone era. Any of my staff have the ability at a moment's notice to pick up the phone, and my drivers can call my service staff, and my service can call my driver staff, and everyone can get a hold of us. And then we have a staff 24-hour answering service.
A word from Douglas Propane.
Welcome back, as we might be a little bit rusty because Michael and I haven't worked together since football season. But we're going to try to get you the game stream that Brad Anderson does down there, and we'll try to do that. If we can pull it off, we'll make it work for you, but I think I may have to not be able to copy and paste out like I was hoping to. I might have to type the whole web address to get in there, which none of you really care about. But it's something I'm working on right now and trying to figure it out. So bear with me, as we had a little bit of issues with the computer as we were starting up. But we thought we had made it through it, but we're still working on a couple of things. But we'll get to that. We'll make sure you know what the score is. We have our own scoreboard up just in case. The coaches right now are talking at home plate. They were talking with all the officials. Now, Michael, there was a bad call at first base in game one, where
yes, there was.
Michelle Carney instant replay showed that the runner at first was actually out. The ball was in Kayla Anderson's glove, but the batter was ruled safe. The batter was ruled safe, and then 3 more runs scored for Hughes Springs after that. Now, a lot of people say, well, Howe didn't score after that, it doesn't matter. Well, yeah, it does, because you never know how things would have unfolded after that point, because, you know, you pitch differently with a 2-run lead than you do with a 5-run lead, and if the out is made earlier, you're making pitches at different times, so you just never know what would have happened and transpired if that call would have been made correctly. It'd be much easier to come back in the last inning from 2 runs down than it would be 5, certainly.
Yes, it was. And that was a bad call. But, you know, they get paid to do it. I don't. So
Yeah.
It's one of them things that you wish you could go back and fix, but it was, at the time, it was a horrible call.
We'll let you listen to the starting lineups.
Good contest. Hughes Springs is the visiting team, and Howe is the home team. Before we begin game 2 of our series, we would like to take a moment to congratulate all of the students from both schools who graduated over the past 2 days. All right, first let's meet the non-starters for Hughes Springs. Number 1, Callie Stewart. Number 4, Carol Perry. Number 8, Zeta Lanier. Now the starters for the Lady Mustangs. Center fielder number 23, Peyton Blythe. Catcher number 12, Kennedy Norfolk. Third baseman number 10, Shelby Fickling. number 7, Haley Wilson. Third baseman number 9, Marisol Kennedy. Shortstop number 11, Kinsley Echo. The designated hitter number 3, Abby McKinney. Left fielder number 5, Charlie Reed. Right fielder number 2, Caitlin Ross. Now starting in the circle for the Lady Mustangs, number 20, Joey Lanier. Two teams is coached by Tisha Thompson, Wayne Mosley, and April Brashear. And now let's meet the non-starters for Howe. Number 0, Chloe Loftus. Number 4, Madeline Nolan. Number 10, Cassidy Anderson. Number 14, Caitlin Klein. Number 15, Carson Fleming. And number 16, Madison Rozier. And now the starters for the Lady Bulldogs. Leading off the shortstop, number 17, Aaron Blackburn. Center fielder, number 27, Peyton Streetman. In the third spot, in pitching, number 11, Madison Hargrove. Second baseman, number 22, Tori Stubblefield. First baseman, number 7, Kayla Anderson. Third baseman, number 2, Peyton Griffin. The catcher, number 6, Danny Ross. Left fielder, number 11, or left fielder, number 3, Cameron Folenchek. And the right fielder, number 5, Emily Sanders. The Lady Bulldogs are coached by Jeff Martin and Jordan Busick. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Well, it is softball time in Texas, Class 3A Division 2, or Division 1 Region 2 Finals. And how did they get here? Well, Hughes Springs defeated Winsboro in bi-district, and then defeated New Diana in the area, and then Prairie Land in the regional quarterfinals, and then the last series they took out Lone Oak. And Howe got here with that crazy win at S&S, and then took down Sunnyvale in area. They defeated Pottsboro in a big series, and then of course the last series was against Hooks, and here they are, Madison Hargrove in the circle, getting ready to start this playoff game action. It's the furthest that Howe has ever been in any sport, or of the major sports, other than, you don't want to say that golf is not a major sport, but this is the furthest that certainly the Lady Bulldogs have ever been in softball, and the football program has not reached this far. So new ground for Howe ISD.
Yes, it is. They've looked good getting here too.
Hargrove and all of the Lady Bulldogs now in the center circle. Now break out of it. We're getting ready to start this softball game. And probably the best hitter in either dugout, as we mentioned, Peyton Blythe will lead off against Hargrove here. And you can tell we've got a loud crowd on hand tonight. Hargrove ready to deal. The very first pitch, bunt shown, is going to be taken for a strike. Strike called. 0-1 to start this Class 3A, Division 1, Region 2. And there's the ball upstairs, 1-1. Hargrove on the hill, Ross behind the plate. And there's a pitch that is inside and hits Blythe on the upper arm, and she'll reach, she's kind of holding her arm down there at first base, as now you got to be careful because she can fly at first base. So there's a hit by pitch, and on at first base is Blythe. And now Kennedy Northam steps up. She shows bunt. Stolen base attempt is down, and Blythe has apparently stolen it. No signal. It was very close. A nice throw there by Ross, right on the money. Blackburn put the tag on, but it was just a little bit late apparently, and Blythe is there with a stolen base. 43rd of the year. Northam at the plate. The catcher. And Hargrove deals. I thought Blythe was going to go towards third base there, but she did not. Across the diamond, we have Griffin at third, Blackburn at short, Stubblefield at second, and Anderson at first. Ross behind the plate, Hargrove on the bump. Fulencheck, Sanders, and Streetman left to right. Hargrove a little bit upstairs. And 3 balls and no strikes. So now Hargrove is in trouble or in danger of having 2 on with nobody out here to start the top of the first. Hargrove deals, and that's ball 4 upstairs and outside. And this is not a good start for the Lady Bulldogs. 2 on, nobody out. And Shelby Flicking coming to the plate. Now Flicking, a sophomore, bats .406 with 5 homers and 8 doubles, 38 RBI, and 36 runs scored. She's going to have an opportunity here with at least 1 runner in scoring position. She shows bunt, brings it back, outside ball 1. Hargrove having trouble finding the zone here. A lot of nerves, I would imagine. Graduation earlier today. A big, huge day for a lot of seniors for this Lady Bulldogs team. Hargrove's pitch. It's going to be bunted in front of the plate. Hargrove fields it, throws the first, 1 out. Stubblefield covering first as Anderson came up to play the bunt. A nice job by Stubblefield to cover from second to first. And now we have runners at second and third with 1 out. I'm not a big fan of the bunt, especially with a 400 hitter at the plate with the runners in scoring position. But hey, if you want to give it out, give it out.
Right.
And there's a shot down the right side, foul up against the fence on the very first pitch to Haley Wilson.
You know, I've noticed a lot this year that there's a lot of bunting that goes on when you think they should be hitting away.
Yeah, that's especially with a 400 hitter, you just really like to see him have a shot right there. There's a ball upstairs, 1-1. A lot of cowbells in the crowd from Hughes Springs tonight.
A lot of noise. There was a lot of noise Thursday.
Hargrove ready to deal, and this one is hammered to left, way back, and you can kiss that one goodbye on top of a white Chevy. A 3-run Jimmy Jack for Haley Wilson to start Hughes Springs off 4-0. 3-0 rather.
just got to start this one.
That one was a fastball up and in, right in the groove house for Haley Wilson, and she was cutting for the Boondocks. 3-0. Hughes Springs on top. Hargrove will deal, and this one's right in the middle of the plate, fouled off back to the net. Bounced off the net to Kayla Anderson, just in from first base, and they'll reuse that yellow-green softball. No balls, 1 strike. Marisol Kennedy at the plate. She'll take ball 1. So it's a 1-1 count. If you're just now joining us, Peyton Blythe led off the game with a hit by pitch, stole second base. Kennedy Northam walked. And here's a pop fly to left field. Fulencheck calling for it, makes the catch. And there is your first out, or second out rather. And then after the sack bunt, Haley Wilson came up and crushed one to left center field. And now Kinsley Eccles will step to the plate, the number 6 hitter. Number 11, the shortstop, and Hargrove looks and fires. And that one's low, bounces in for ball 1. 2 outs here in the first inning. Hughes Springs up 3-0 early. Only 1 hit so far given up. And there's a pitch right down the middle, lined out to right field. And Emily Sanders comes on to make the catch for the final out of the inning. But 3 runs come across for Hughes Springs on 1 hit. No errors and none left. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back with more Lady Bulldog action here in the regional playoffs.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
For my family, life is a series of celebrations, from my newest born cousin to my grandmother. We all partake in births, weddings, and funerals. Wherever we celebrate, we need to feel welcome. That's why we choose Scoggins Funeral Home in Howe. Scoggins Funeral Home understands our needs. Talk to the caring staff at Scoggins Funeral Home. Call 903-532-5577 or visit scogginsfuneralhome.com. Abby's Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. Give them a call, 903-487-8860. Abby's Restaurant.
Welcome back to A&M Commerce. It's a beautiful complex over here. A strange navy blue infield, but that's okay because we have hazy skies.
Yeah, that field's definitely blue.
Blackburn showing bunt and does try to bunt it down the third base line on the first pitch, but sends it foul down towards the Howe dugout. Howe in the third base dugout. Hughes Springs in the first base. Howe wearing gray pants, black tops. Hughes Springs in white pants and white, black, and red tops. There's a strike call, and Blackburn finds herself down 0-2 to start. They have scoreboard issues out there. It is 0-2, and here's the pitch. It's going to be upstairs a little bit. 1-2 the count on Blackburn as the Blackburn will foul this one off back to the screen, and on the hill tonight is, again, Zoe Lehner, the sophomore. She pitched him into the quarterfinals last year as a freshman. She's a curveball pitcher, not a hammer-it-home type pitcher. And Blackburn just gets a piece of this one. Didn't like the pitch, but with 2 strikes, just slapped at it and fouled it off. A great piece of just getting rid of that ball. Lanier, like I say, the off-speed specialist, 15-1 on the season, 1.22 ERA, only 61 strikeouts in 86 innings. And Blackburn drills this one to left, but enough room. And going back and making the catch is Charlie Reeves. So 1 out in the bottom half of the first for the Lady Bulldogs. That was a deep fly ball that sent Reeves all the way back to the warning track up against the net. But is a long out for the Lady Bulldogs as up steps Peyton Streetman. One of the few non-seniors on this Lady Bulldogs team.
Center fielder number 27, Peyton Streetman.
Streetman, a switch hitter, will bat from the right side here. When she's in left-handed, she's normally bunting. And here's the first pitch. It's a curveball over for a strike. That one broke from right to left. Up and in is the next pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. If you're just joining us, 3-0. Hughes Springs in the top of the first. Hammered home, a 3-run homer by Haley Wilson. Here's the off-speed pitch drilled down the left field line and out of play. That would have been over had it not been foul, but it was a good 25, 30 feet foul. And as she is known as Fritter trying to deliver right here with Howe's first base hit of the evening and the second chance. Lanier toes the rubber with the wind. It's on the outside part of the plate, and Streetman takes it that way and fouls it down the right field line, out of play. Giving chase over there was flicking, and also Caitlin Roth, the only senior who's playing right field. They took a stab at it but couldn't get there in time. That ball was in no man's land. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Streetman. Calls time at the plate. Now she's ready. Right-handed batter. And the pitch is just up a little bit. Streetman didn't like it. Neither did the umpire. 2-2 the count. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. 3-0. Hughes Springs on top. Winner take all. Streetman drills this one down the right side. Foul again. Again, giving chase is Roth out there, but that one out of play and behind the fencing area. And the count stays 2-2. Couple of practice swings for Streetman. She gets ready. Now Lanier wants a new ball. And now Coach Martin will throw in the new ball to the umpire, who throws it out there to Lanier.
Man, we got baseball, softballs flying everywhere.
They're everywhere. Now they don't know which goes where, but the umpire's keeping both of them.
Yeah.
So now one goes out there. Lanier has a new ball. That's what she wanted, right?
That's right. That's what she got, was a new ball.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Whatever your best pitch is, it's coming right here, and it's inside just barely. And we're going full on this count. Down 3, you need some base runners. Streetman's had a good at bat here, fouling off a couple of pitches down the right field line. Fouled off one hard down the left field line. And here's Lanier's pitch. It's going to be taken over there to the shortstop side. Grounded, but not trapped. So no play. Streetman is safe at first. Or did they call it?
They called her out.
Now there's Coach Martin's going to talk about this. It looked like the ball may have hit the turf.
Home plate called her out. We'll see.
There is some discussion to whether she actually trapped that ball or whether it went through straight to her glove, but Coach Martin's still talking to the umpire. And usually these don't get overturned, but state the case. And now the first base umpire's coming in and the third base umpire's coming in to have a chat about this. And they're talking about sight lines, and now umpires are each going to visit about this. It was hit to the shortstop, Kinsley Eccles, who dove to her right and apparently made the catch. So Streetman is out. It'll go down as a line out to 6. But that may be another Michelle Carney replay we might get.
Right, you know, we had this same conversation a couple of times Thursday night as well.
Very close. So up steps Madison Hargrove, who's the pitcher of record tonight. And her first pitch is dribbled up the middle, a single right through the wickets of that Hughes Springs infield. And there's the first base hit for Howe tonight. A straight single up the middle by Hargrove. So now up steps Stubblefield, and you know that Stubblefield has the power to hit some white Chevys out there as well.
Yes, she does.
Lanier's first pitch is way outside, ball 1. You know, some of those, I don't know if I'd park out there.
Right. I started to park out there the other night, and there's a gap between the field fence and the outer fence, but boy, it's just not enough.
Here's the pitch outside again as they're staying away from Stubblefield, everything on the outer half.
You know, and she reached for one the other night. That may be intentional.
And the pitch just framed on the outside part of the plate. A great job by the catcher, Kennedy Northam, to frame that pitch. Looked like it was outside, but it's called a strike. 2-1, and here's the next pitch fly to center. Can of corn for the center fielder, Peyton Blythe, and that is the third out of the inning. So Howe goes relatively quietly and quickly through the first. We'll be back 3-0. Hughes Springs in the lead.
The Howe Athletic Booster Club invites you to become a supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
And the type of kids we have, they're just hard workers and do anything you ask. And
Memberships are $25 and will be available at all home games. All proceeds benefit high school and middle school athletic programs. Please join the Howe Athletic Booster Club in our efforts to support our hometown kids.
when people come here, you know, it's something they can be proud of.
What is Cabinet Home Theater? Do we only do those big fancy media rooms? Heck no. We started in 1978 installing TV antennas. Guess what? We still do and get over 40 Dallas channels that way for our customers. Along the way, we had requests to install speakers, mount TVs, or install dish, so now we do it all. From hooking up a TV with a soundbar to whole house audio with all the bells and whistles. Visit CabineterHT.com to see all we have to offer, or call 903-892-3499.
Welcome back. Leading off for Hughes Springs will be Abby McKinney. McKinney, a sophomore, 15 RBIs and 15 runs scored on the season. Hargrove finishing her warm-up throws here, and Ross will throw down to second base. And we're just about ready for the top of the second inning. Hughes Springs leading 3-0 early in this one, as again Haley Wilson blasted a 3-run shot to left center field. The fourth batter of the game, the cleanup hitter for Hughes Springs, did just that. But now Abby McKinney will take her shot at Madison Hargrove. Now again, Lanier on the flip side likes to go 4 innings and then hand it over for the final 3, but we're a long way away from thinking about that as Hargrove here steps on the rubber and deals apparently just low, right over the plate, but apparently just low, ball 1. That was a pitch right at the knees, but just under them apparently. And the second pitch is on the inside corner, evens the count at 1. Again, Abby McKinney, 15 RBI, 15 runs scored on the year. And she hammers an inside pitch up against the net, as anyone standing close to the net would have been in trouble on that one, as she got one that was headed towards her right eye, and she blistered it to left, right over the third base dugout. No harm, no foul, ball and 2 strikes. Hargrove deals, and a dribbler right back to her. Throws it on to Anderson for the out. Score at 1-3 at home And that is the first out of the second inning. Charlie Reeves will step up for Hughes Springs, the left fielder. Reeves, a .299 hitter, 4 triples, 28 RBI, 20 runs, and 12 stolen bases. Hargrove deals with 1 out, a slow pitch up high for ball 1. A good crowd coming over from both sides. I think Hughes Springs wins the crowd battle, however, and they are all in red.
Yeah, boy, and I made the mistake on Thursday. I'll have to tell you about that in a minute.
There's a high pitch for ball 2.
I showed up Thursday in red, black, and white. I had no idea.
That's not our colors.
I had no idea until I got here.
It's not even our colors.
I know.
Hargrove's pitch upstairs again. 3 balls, no strikes. You know, you can't start that identity crisis.
I know. I showed up in pearl snap shirt, red, white, and black. Boy, Coach Hudson let me have it.
I bet. Hargrove deals on the 3-0 pitch, and that one is taken for a strike by Reeves. Maybe a gimme call. It was right at the letters. 3-1 the count. And the pitch by Hargrove. A dribbler out to Blackburn at short. Quickly up and fires. 6-3 if you're scoring at home on the out. And there's 2 down now with the number 9 hitter coming up. And that's the only senior in the Hughes Springs lineup, Caitlin Roth. The right fielder hits .302 with 12 RBI on the year, 23 runs and 11 stolen bases. Left-handed hitter against the right-handed Hargrove. Peyton Griffin playing up. The corners are playing in. On 2 outs, that's somewhat rare, but Roth, a dangerous bunter. And Hargrove will deal, and Roth took a run at it, much like Blackburn does. Kind of a running swing, but she didn't swing. And the count now 2-0. Again, the corner's coming up a bit. And that pitch is outside. And again, 3-0. Hargrove pitching from behind a lot tonight. Has been lucky so far to be able to get grounders later on in the count. But you keep flirting with those walks and you're going to get in trouble, especially with the big hitter coming up. This is a big out, and she didn't get it. A big walk for the senior, Caitlin Roth, and up steps the best hitter in either dugout. And that's Peyton Blythe. So a walk to the number 9 hitter could come back to haunt Howe. And here's the stolen base attempt. And apparently Roth is in, and she is safe. So now a runner's in scoring position with Blythe at the plate. That's dangerous. Walks will kill. Little break in the action as the umpire was headed down the third baseline to talk to the third base coach of Hughes Springs, but now back in the box. Hargroves with the 1-0 pitch, and that one is upstairs 2-0. At this point, I don't think it would be bad if a walk would happen to Blythe. It probably would be okay.
Right.
And Hargrove, a strike on the outside corner. And that'll bring the count to 2-1. Again, 3-0. Hughes Springs in the lead after the 3-run shot in the top of the first. Here's Hargrove's pitch. It's hammered, but to right at to Stubblefield, who underhands to Kayla Anderson at first, and that is a big out to get Blythe to ground out 4-3 to end the inning. And Howe will come up trying to tack away at that 3-0 deficit. We'll be back right after this.
A word from Douglas Propane.
My tenured drivers are 5 to 7 years, and then our combined experience. You know, the benefit of the era that we live in is the smartphone era. Any of my staff have the ability at a moment's notice to pick up the phone, and my drivers can call my service staff, and my service can call my driver staff, and everyone can get a hold of us. And then we have a staff 24-hour answering service.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
Welcome back to A&M Commerce, John Cain Stadium. Isn't that right?
Yes, I believe so.
John Cain Stadium over here at the University of Texas, at University of Texas, Texas A&M University of Commerce, right?
Texas A&M University of Commerce.
And not East Texas State University anymore, right?
No.
What do you do with all those diplomas that say East Texas State University? Do you get to trade those in on a new one, or does it even work?
Just toss it in the trash. I don't know. Maybe they'll swap with you.
So Kayla Anderson will lead off here the bottom of the second inning against Lanier. Lanier, a tall pitcher with a big windup. And it is hot. Have I mentioned that over here?
It is.
It's like August in a press box.
It is.
Lanier, the 1-0 pitch is upstairs and in. 2 balls and no strikes. I would say this crowd is 2/3 Hughes Springs, 1/3 Howe.
Yeah, probably every bit. It was like that Thursday night, too.
And the pitch is on the outside part of the plate. 2 balls and a strike. And they come in all red. They are wearing all red. And Howe's kind of mixed matched a little bit. Can't really tell that it's a common crowd. There's outside for ball 3. This would be a great leadoff walk for Kayla Anderson to be able to get on. Regardless, 3-1, she should see a good pitch to hit right here. Lanier's 3-1 pitch, the wind, the deal, and slap foul over the first base dugout. Caught by the net. A lot of people in Howe wearing black, but there's, a lot of brown and gray and orange. Red.
Yeah, there's some red. There's even some tie-dye, looks like.
Yeah. There's a pitch, dribble down to third base, and quickly thrown over to first, and Kayla Anderson, who dove into first base, is out. Had she kept running through the bag, she might have been safe, but regardless, it was a nice play over there at third base by Marisol Kennedy. And Anderson is out 5-3. And Peyton Griffin will step up to the plate with 1 out in the bottom of the second. Howe needs to tack away here. It's the peck-away theory at this point. And here's a ball on the outer half, just off the plate apparently. Griffin didn't like it. Wind blowing a little bit out of the south. It is blowing out, but not a great deal. And when I say out, I mean out to left.
Yeah. Kind of left. Yeah, left.
Griffin will bounce this one to short. It goes off the glove of Eccles, and that'll be an E6. It was going to be a tough play regardless, because it was deep in the hole, and had Eccles fielded it cleanly, it still would have been a great play to be able to make the throw to first base, but it did bounce off of her glove, so we'll give it an E6. And Danny Ross will step up. She'll show bunt from the left side of the plate. And now Lanier backs off the rubber, and time has been called. Ross was staring at her right in her face with the bunt, showing bunt the whole time, and now the catcher, Kennedy Northam, walks over to the dugout and wants to talk to the head coach here, Tricia Thompson, and find out what they want to do if in fact Ross bunts here. And now the home plate umpire walks over and says something to Coach Thompson and calmly strolls back to home plate. And now we're about ready for action. Lanier with the pitch. Ross takes strike one on the outer half. Ross gets the sign from Coach Martin at third base. Now shows bunt from the left side of the box. Lanier steps in. First baseman comes up, and Griffin fakes the steal of second base, comes up. Almost required a throw to second base, but nothing doing. So Lanier on the rubber. Ross still showing bunt. 1 ball, 1 strike. And it is bunted down the third base line. It goes foul and out of play. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. You can pretty much get rid of the idea of a bunt here with 2 strikes on you. Ross, you would think, would be swinging away here in the bottom of the second inning. Griffin on at first. She reached on an E6. Ross still showing bunt, but she brings it back. Ready to slap this one away. Swings, and it's hit right at the third baseman on a line. They double him off at first base. A great play by the third baseman, Marisol Kennedy. Caught the ball on a line, fired quickly to first to double off Anderson. Unbelievable bad luck if you're the Lady Bulldogs. And that's the way this game has gone so far early on here in Commerce. We'll be right back.
For my family, life is a series of celebrations, from my newest born cousin to my grandmother. We all partake in births, weddings, and funerals. Wherever we celebrate, we need to feel welcome. That's why we choose Scoggins Funeral Home in Howe. Scoggins Funeral Home understands our needs. Talk to the caring staff at Scoggins Funeral Home. Call 903-532-5577 or visit scogginsfuneralhome.com. Abby's Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. Give them a call, 903-487-8860. Abby's Restaurant.
Boy, that's just incredibly bad luck.
Yes, it is.
You know, that's 2 line drives that have found the way inside of the glove. One ruled that way, and I guess the other one, I mean, that was clean. Just a beautiful line drive catch and a double play. The other one might have been a little iffy whether it was caught or not, but regardless, 2 line drive shots have both been outs.
You know, like I talked to you, told you earlier when we were here before the game, that third baseman's got an arm. She showed that arm the other night. And
well, that arm is the arm that'll come in at about the 5th inning and slam the door if there is one to be slammed.
Yeah, she's good at that too.
Kennedy North on left-handed batter will step in the box against Hargrove. Hargrove's given up 3 earned runs so far in this game, and the first pitch is high, ball 1. Griffin and Anderson come charging in from both corners. And now Hargrove wants a new ball and gets a new ball. Northam steps back in from the left side of the plate. Hargrove steps on the rubber. 1 ball, no strike. And the pitch outside. 2-0. Hughes Springs wearing those kind of like the old 80s Houston Astro jerseys, the Starburst rainbow jerseys, but they're black and they make their way up to gray instead of being orange and red and all those crazy colors. There's ball 3, and Hargrove is very close to walking the leadoff hitter here. And the 3-0 pitch is up high and out of the glove of Ross. Northam looked back to see if she could make it to second, but Ross was able to get back to the screen and quickly gather the ball, but a leadoff walk in the top of the third. That'll bring up Shelby Flicking. She had a sack bunt earlier in the first inning. She was the one out before the 3-run bomb. And Hargrove deals and a fastball off Ross' glove, and that'll be a pass ball and as Northam goes down to second base. I don't know whether the pitchers got crossed up there. The pitcher and catcher, it appeared that Ross wasn't ready for a fastball there.
Yeah, I got screwed up here.
Flicking, showing bunt, now brings it back. Hargrove deals, and this one is drilled up the middle of base hit. Rounding third and heading home is Northam, and an RBI single for Flicking. And it's 4-0 Hughes Springs. So now Haley Wilson steps up. She hit a 3-run Jimmy Jack in the first inning that went off a Chevy truck out there. And Hargrove's first pitch is low and inside, ball 1. Now Shelby Flicking is on at first. And a shot to the right side, another base hit to right. Sanders comes throwing and overshoots the cutoff man, but throws it to third, and Griffin is able to run over there and cut the ball off. So now runners at first and second with nobody out. And Marisol Kennedy coming up to the plate. Kennedy on the year batting .372 with a homer, 7 doubles, 31 RBI, 28 runs. And a chance right here to blow the doors open. Hargrove on the rubber. And that one's bunted right in front of the plate. Hargrove throws to first for the out. There's one out. Now runners at second and third. So again, giving up an out is just something that's a little odd to a baseball guy, but this is softball. It's a different sport. The sack bunt goes for Kennedy. And Eccles now will step up. And first pitch is a ball outside. Eccles lined out to Emily Sanders, her last time up. Hargrove with one out. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Abby McKinney waiting on deck, the right-handed hitter. Eccles also right-handed here, and the pitch is inside. 3 balls and no strikes. And Hargrove is a little bit frustrated. She throws her arm in the air a little bit, slams the ball into the glove twice, as she's been 3 balls and no strikes on several hitters so far. And there is a strike, but it gets away. It's actually ball 4. It gets away from Ross again. And now the runner that walked will head down to second base. The wheels are just falling off, and Coach Martin wants to talk about it. Time has been called, and they'll all meet in the circle after that. So I think that's a pass ball.
Yep.
It did not hit the turf. And Eccles goes down to second. Flicking scores to make it 5-0. And now Haley Wilson goes down to third. So we have runners at second and third. So it's a double whammy right there on Danny Ross. You get the pass ball and the error, because the runner advanced to the second on the E2. And now Abby McKinney will have a chance to do more damage with 1 out here in the top of the third. Hargrove now with her sleeves rolled up. No more sleeves showing. She's rolled them all the way to the top. McKinney steps in the right-handed batter's box. Runners at second and third. One out. And the first pitch is low and outside for ball one. Hargrove deals. There's a pitch that's up and in. It's going to be fielded by Stubblefield on to Anderson for the out, but that gets the run home. 6-0 as Hughes Springs advances on Abby McKinney's RBI single right there. RBI ground out, sorry. It goes 4-3 in the books for the second out. But the run does come home to make it 6-0. Hughes Springs in the lead. And now Charlie Reeves at the plate. She takes up and in for ball one. Hargrove's just been all over the place to start this game. Just really hasn't been able to find some consistency at all. Uncharacteristic. She's been around the plate all year long, but been different tonight. Here's a pitch that's swung on and fouled off to the right. Sanders gives chase, but it's out of play.
Yeah, she's struggling a little bit. I'm as surprised as you are.
Again, a big day, graduation today, so a lot of emotion. And here's a fly to center field. It's going to be handled by Peyton Streetman, and that will finally be the inning. But not before more damage is done. Hughes Springs adds 3 more on 2 hits. 1 error and 2 left. We'll be right back right after this message.
The Howe Athletic Booster Club invites you to become a supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
And the type of kids we have, they're just hard workers and do anything you ask.
Memberships are $25 and will be available at all home games. All proceeds benefit high school and middle school athletic programs. Please join the Howe Athletic Booster Club in our efforts to support our hometown kids.
When people come here, you know, it's something they can be proud of.
What is Cavender Home Theater? Do we only do those big fancy media rooms? Heck no. We started in 1978 installing TV antennas. Guess what? We still do and get over 40 Dallas channels that way for our customers. Along the way, we had requests to install speakers, mount TVs, or install dish, so now we do it all. From hooking up a TV with a soundbar to whole house audio with all the bells and whistles. Visit CavenderHT.com to see all we have to offer or call 903-892-3499.
Welcome back as Hughes Springs leads Howe 6-0 as we head to the bottom of the third inning in this Class 3A Division I Region 2 final. The bottom of the order coming up, Fulencheck, Sanders, and then back to the top of the order and Aaron Blackburn. And at some point now, it was 3, now it's 6. We've just got to start pecking away at this thing. Howe with only 1 hit so far in the game. And that was erased. And here's a ball outside to start. Actually, Hargrove was left stranded. She hit the single up the middle in the first inning for the only hit so far for the Lady Bulldogs. Fulencheck takes ball 1 as Lanier in her 3rd inning of work. She normally goes 4. And they turn it over to Marisol Kennedy to slam the door. And we'll see what happens, but the Lady Bulldogs are going to have to start chewing up some hits and walks and bases. And here's a swing and a miss by Fulencheck. It's 1-1. Off-speed pitch. Sanders on deck, another right-handed hitter. And Lanier's pitch is fouled right back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Really nice place over here at A&M Commerce. Nice facilities, nice people up here, nice hospitality in the booth. Really good looking complex out here.
It is nice.
A ball and 2 strikes in the pitch inside. Backs full and check up a little bit in the box, and that evens the count at 2. No outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Lady Bulldogs needing a rally. And the pitch is pushed out to right field, and over the shoulder catch by the second baseman, Haley Wilson, and another fine defensive play by Hughes Springs. So it officially will go pop 4 to the second baseman for the first out in the inning. Emily Sanders coming up.
Fielder number 5, Emily Sanders.
We're on the west side of the campus, completely different from where the football field is, over there across the road away. And here's a dribbler out to the short, and the collision between Kennedy and Eccles. And that's going to be tough to score there.
Right.
It would have been a tough play to get Sanders, and I think we'll give Emily a hit there. Although they have yet to do so on the scoreboard.
All right.
And here's a bunt by Blackburn as she is smoking fast down the first base line, but the ball goes foul. Blackburn can fly.
She can.
They have yet to give a hit to Sanders, so they're scoring that an E6. It's probably an E5. All right, no. We'll give it an E6. Blackburn up. Lanier, slow pitch and high. That will be 1 ball, 1 strike. Lanier looks over at Sanders a little bit, kind of looks her down back to the bag. Corners playing in the infield. Outfield shaded to right a little bit. And the pitch right over the plate. Strike 2. There's no leadoffs in softball, so tight bases. 1 out. Bottom of the 3rd. Blackburn fouls this one off. She just pokes the bat out there and fouls it away. Flicks it like she did earlier in the very first at-bat, where she ended up flying to left field after a pretty good at-bat. The girls need some hits right here. A ball and 2 strikes on Blackburn. 1 out, bottom of the 3rd. Sanders at first. She reached on an error. And the pitch is poked down the left field line, in for a base hit. It almost gets away from the left fielder, but she's able to barehand it as it goes backwards. It bounced a little bit off this turf. Unlike grass, where it would have just died, the ball took a turf bounce. And now the Lady Bulldogs have something cooking with 1 out. Runners at first and second after the single by Blackburn. And Streetman coming to the plate in the right-handed batter's box. 1 out, bottom of the 3rd. Lanier in her first jam of the night. And here's the pitch right over the plate. Strike 1. She's not a overpowering pitcher. Not an overpowering pitcher.
No, she's not.
A lot of off-speed pitches, and she changes it up very nicely. And the pitch is on the outside part of the plate, just off apparently, a ball and a strike. But she's very effective at keeping hitters off balance.
Yes, she is. She was like that on Thursday.
And the pitch is right over the plate, drilled, a base hit to right. Coming home is Sanders, flying around to the plate. She scores. Into 3rd goes Blackburn, and she is safe. And Streetman ends up with an RBI double. So the Lady Bulldogs are on the board finally tonight, 6-1. They need to peck away at this thing with one out. Still two runners in scoring position here with Hargrove coming to the plate. A chance to relieve some of the damage that's been done. She can help herself out here by poking one in the alley or so. Outfield will play straight away for Hargrove. The infield corners are in a bit. Lanier in a first jam of the night. Each team has 3 hits now. The first pitch is outside, swung on and missed at the plate. Hargrove picks it up, gives it back to the catchers. She might have had a piece of it, but the ball was on the outer half. She tried to pull the ball that was away. 6-1. Hughes Springs in the lead. The pitch is up and in. Backs Hargrove up a little bit. A ball and a strike. One out here in Commerce. A chance to get back in the game. Hargrove fouls it off to right. Although it's going to stay in play, it's going to be caught by the right fielder. Trying to come home is Blackburn. She easily does. Slides in at 6-2. It goes as a sacrifice fly for Hargrove, which allows Blackburn to cut the gap to 6-2 with 2 outs, and Stubblefield comes to the plate. Runners now, there's only one runner at third base, and that's Streetman. 2-run shot would bring it 6-4. And you know that's what's on Stubblefield's mind right here. And the first pitch is way outside, ball 1. It could be on Lanier's mind as well. The last time she pitched Stubblefield very carefully on the outer edge of the plate, almost in the left-handed batter's box. And there's a pitch right down the heart of the plate. Stubblefield pops it up right to the second baseman, and it's hauled in by Wilson, and that will be the inning. But the Lady Bulldogs get 2 runs on several hits there. Leave 1 left, and we have a new score of 6-2. We'll be back in just a moment.
A word from Douglas Propane.
My tenured drivers are 5 to 7 years, and then our combined experience, you know, the benefit of the era that we live in is the smartphone era. Any of my staff have the ability at a moment's notice to pick up the phone, and my drivers can call my service staff, and my service can call my driver staff, and everyone can get a hold of us. And then we have a staff 24-hour answering service.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
Entering the top of the 4th inning, Hughes Springs lead 6-2. And number 9 hitter Caitlin Rock is coming up. And last time up, walked. You hate to walk the number 9 hitter, especially when the number 1 hitter is Peyton Blythe, a tremendous over 500 hitter. So this is a big out. You really want to attack Caitlin Roth right here to start the inning. Hughes Springs 6 runs on 3 hits. Howe 2 runs on 3 hits. Hargrove has been wild all over the place, but she's been pretty good since she rolled her sleeves up.
Yes, she has.
And the first pitch is in there. No, it must have been a little bit low on the outside part of the plate, ball 1.
Sometimes these umpires make you guess.
Again, Caitlin Roth, the number 9 hitter, is trying to draw a walk in front of Peyton Blythe, and so far so good. 2-0 on the count. That one outside. A sea of red here tonight in the stands from Hughes Springs. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 3. You don't want to walk the leadoff hitter.
No, not in this situation. Well, not in any situation.
Not ever. The 3-0 pitch outside, ball 4, leadoff walk for Caitlin Roth, and up steps Peyton Blythe, the center fielder, and a tremendous weapon. She hits well, she runs well. There's not much that she doesn't do well in this game of softball, if any. And she bunts right here. This is going to be a tough bunt. Nobody there. She bunted right to... Oh, and now Hargrove throws the ball away into the dugout. And the runner at third, who is advancing on the bunt, is now going to go home. It'll be an E1. Let's explain what happened here. Peyton Blythe, what will end up being a single. She turned and bunted the ball directly at the second baseman. Hargrove was unable to get there in time. It was a hard bunt, and Stubblefield had already moved over to second base to cover. To first base to cover as Anderson came up. Neither Anderson nor Hargrove were able to get to the hard bunt that went right to where Stubblefield was. And then the runner that was headed to second ended up going to third. Hargrove tried to make the throw over there and threw it away in the dugout. And now Shelby Flicking tries to bunt. She pops it up, and it's caught by Peyton Griffin. So there's the first out of the inning.
So
now we have Blythe at second with 1 out, and there's a little flare. Diving for it is Kayla Anderson. She didn't actually have to leave her feet. I thought she was going to have to, but she makes the catch in foul territory, and there is the second out. Another big out. So a pop to 5 for 1 and a pop to 3 for 2, and up steps Haley Wilson. Wilson hit a bomb in the first inning and hit a single in the third. Runner at second base, 2 outs. Hargrove deals, and this one's upstairs for ball 1. Wilson, a tall, especially for a second baseman, very tall. There's a high pitch, and Ross trying to pick him off at second base. Stubblefield has to go down to stop the ball. The ball was thrown a little bit short to the right of the bag. They had the runner out there trapped. Ross did the right thing of running at her. The runner back to the second base bag. And here's upstairs ball 3 and no strikes to Haley Wilson. First base is open. It may not be the bad thing to let Wilson get on board here with 2 outs. Hargrove deals, and that one's up and in. That will be ball 4. So now runners at first and second with 2 outs. And Marisol Kennedy coming up. She had a sac bunt in the third inning. She flied to left in the first. Comes up here with 2 on, 2 out. Top of the 4th, a big moment in this game. Hargrove needs a big out. And she deals, and a hard shot past the third baseman. That's an RBI single for Kennedy, as Blythe will score. Running on contact, she can fly, and it was not even a challenge. And it's a single by Marisol Kennedy, and that makes the walk pay. So now runners at first and second, they trade positions again with 2 outs, and now Kinsley Eccles steps to the plate, right-handed batter. Hargrove deals, and there's a flare out to the center fielder. It's going to be in no man's land. Sanders comes up with it, throws to second base. 1 run will score. It'll go down as a single, and Haley Wilson comes home. Kennedy ends up at third with 2 outs, everybody running, and now all of a sudden it's a 9-2 game. Abby McKinney comes up. Hargrove still deals. Battling here. It's been a while since we've had a strike call. Another ball low. Eccles takes second base. It's an indifference. No challenge there by Ross. 9-2, Hughes Springs in the lead. Hargrove upstairs, ball 3. She's all over the place.
Yes, she is.
She needs some time to find it. Goes to the back of the circle there. Picks up the powder. Rolls the ball in her hand a little bit. 3-0 pitch. Strike call. Right at the letters. And if that wasn't a strike, I was wondering what's it going to take.
Right.
3 balls and a strike. Abby McKinney at the plate. Strike 2 call on the outer edge of the plate. A great pitch by Hargrove. She's really battling here. Graduated a few hours ago from Howe High School. Now on the mound, still representing, and here's a pop fly towards first base. Kayla Anderson makes the catch at the net for the 3rd out of the inning, but some damage has been done here. 1, 2, 3 more runs in the 4th inning. And Hughes Springs leads 9-2, headed to the bottom of the 4th inning. We'll be right back right after this.
For my family, life is a series of celebrations, from my newest born cousin to my grandmother. We all partake in births, weddings, and funerals. Wherever we celebrate, we need to feel welcome. That's why we choose Scoggins Funeral Home in Howe. Scoggins Funeral Home understands our needs. Talk to the caring staff at Scoggins Funeral Home. Call 903-532-5577 or visit scogginsfuneralhome.com. Abby's Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. Give them a call, 903-487-8860. Abby's Restaurant.
Welcome back to John Cain Stadium over here at A&M Commerce. It has not been a friendly place so far for the Lady Bulldogs. As of right now, they'd like to forget the blue turf.
Yes, they would.
But it's not over. And there is a sense of never say die. And Kayla Anderson is going to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning for the Lady Bulldogs, needing 7 to tie. Zoe Lanier still in. And this is going to be first pitch swinging out to the second baseman. Grounder throws over to first and out. And Kayla Anderson must have stepped on the first baseman's ankle. But apparently she's going to be okay. Scored at home 4-3. First out of the inning by Kayla Anderson, and Peyton Griffin will step up. No runners on. 1 out here in the bottom of the 1st. Howe trailing 9-2. Would love to turn that victory light on again tonight.
Yeah,
thought about that when I left the office today.
Yeah, that'd be good.
It's going to take a big rally. It's going to take one for the ages at this point. And here's the pitch to Griffin. It's low. 1 ball, no strikes to start here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Starting to get a little dark. Press box lights have come on. Hope nothing's hit up in the air. We'll have a glare we won't be able to see, but we do have the windows open. We can see there. There's a shot right back up the middle. That's going to be a base hit for Griffin. It was hit right back at Lanier, went off of her glove and upper arm, rolled up a little bit of the ways where Eccles finally came over, but it was too late. Short bases and fast runners, softball is a pretty quick game.
Yeah, that's new for us is press box light. We don't usually have them.
Yeah.
He flipped that light switch, and I thought the sun had come back up.
So Griffin on at first, maybe the start of good things right here. Ross shows bunt from the left side of the box, and she brings the bat back. 1 ball, no strikes. Of course, after the pitch, the runner can take off. And Griffin was trying to get a little bit of an edge right there in case Ross does bunt. And now she brings the bat back again. It's just one of those things where, you know, when you need 7 runs, I just have a hard time with bunting. But again, I'm not a softball guy, I'm a baseball guy. They know how to do these things. There's a ball, 3-0 the count. And at some point, you'd like to see, if you're a Lady Bulldogs fan, which most of our listeners probably are, you'd like to see Lanier kind of get in a little struggle herself and not be able to find the plate a little bit. And the pitch is inside. That's ball 4. It gets away a little bit. It could. The umpire's calling dead ball. I don't know whether it hit Ross, but he ruled it a dead ball.
Yeah, he did.
So it must have hit Ross. So we'll call it a hit by pitch, as Griffin will move down to second base. So runners now at first and second with Cameron Fulencheck coming up, another senior who had a big day today. Again, I'm not sure this is great timing for the Lady Bulldogs to play a game hours after they graduate. There's so many emotions flying. It could be a great disadvantage, and so far it has been. And this is going to be a bunt right in front of the plate, and now apparently the ball hit the bat on the way down for the bunt. As Fulencheck tried to, she did actually put a good bunt down, but then the bat hit the ball again for the second time. So it'll be a dead ball. And we'll do it again. No balls and 1 strike. The Howe crowd is cheering, clapping, making some noise. And the pitch inside is going to be bunted. Picked up by the third baseman, fires to third. Safe at third base is Peyton Griffin. So a nice bunt there by Fulencheck. They tried to get the lead runner at third. It was Marisol Kennedy who came up to field the bunt, turned around and threw it to Eccles, the shortstop who was covering third. But it was late getting in there, and 1 hop to Eccles. And everybody's safe. So Fulencheck with a great bunt. So they'll call it a fielder's choice safe. And we've got the bases juiced with 1 out here.
That's good.
And if you're going to get in a rally, if you're going to hammer away at this thing, now's the time to do it. If you think the number 9 hitter, Sanders, can't hit the long ball, you're wrong, because she can absolutely crush the ball. And now would be a good time for one of those patented crushes. So Sanders will step in against Lanier, who's starting to wobble a little bit. Bases juiced. Sacks packed. Sanders at the plate. Lanier on the rubber. First pitch, swung on and missed. At this point, if Sanders isn't cutting for the Boondocks, I don't know what it takes.
All right.
You've got a hitter who can send it over. Now's the time to unbutton that top button and let it fly. Here's the pitch. Low gets away, but the runners will stay. Because the bases were loaded, none of the runners could advance. If there was not a runner at third, there would have been some action on the base paths. But it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Sanders. 9-2. Hughes Springs in the lead. Lanier pitches. It's shot back up the middle. Lanier grabs it, fields, throws to first for the second out of the inning, but a run comes home as Griffin scores on the ground out. It goes 1-3 on the ground out for Sanders, but Griffin scores to cut it 9-3. Runners now at second and third with the speedster Blackburn at the plate. Lanier still wobbling, but showing signs of getting out of it. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball one. Blackburn again with a little dribbler to the shortstop would get another run home because she's fast enough to be able to beat the throw. Lanier's pitch outside 2-0. At this point, you're almost rooting for the bags to be juiced again with Streetman coming up. 2 outs right here. 2-0 pitch outside, but flicked away. That would have been ball 3, but Blackburn just flicked it away back to the net. It was high and outside, and Lanier got helped out a little bit there. Bottom of the 4th inning. Hughes Springs on top, 9-3, but Howe has a chance to cut it back. Here's a pitch, bounced up the middle just to Lanier. She underhands for the out. She gets out of that jam. A few more inches, that ball goes over the head of Lanier into center and 2 runs score. But that's not the way things go tonight. And that's an out, 1-3. And that's the 4th inning. 9-3, Hughes Springs in the lead. We'll be back right after this.
The Howe Athletic Booster Club invites you to become a supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
And the type of kids we have, they're just hard workers and do anything you ask. And
Memberships are $25 and will be available at all home games. All proceeds benefit high school and middle school athletic programs. Please join the Howe Athletic Booster Club in our efforts to support our hometown kids.
when people come here, you know, it's something they can be proud of.
What is Cavender Home Theater? Do we only do those big fancy media rooms? Heck no. We started in 1978 installing TV antennas. Guess what? We still do and get over 40 Dallas channels that way for our customer. Along the way, we had requests to install speakers, mount TVs, or install dish, so now we do it all. From hooking up a TV with a soundbar to whole house audio with all the bells and whistles. Visit CavenderHT.com to see all we have to offer or call 903-892-3499.
Well, it's time to stop the bleeding for the Lady Bulldogs of Hughes Springs because Hargrove's still in, but you just got to stop the 3-run innings. They've had a 3-run first, a 3-run third, and a 3-run fourth has Hughes Springs. And ladies and gentlemen, that equals 9 runs. So that's math. That's math.
That's yeah.
Hey, I can still do math.
Hey, that's good.
Barely.
You can still do math.
But, you know, these 3-run innings have got to stop if you're going to get back in this game. You know, Lanier has shown that she will wobble a little bit, and Howe has done some great things of getting back in the game of late, scoring 2 runs in the third and 1 run in the fourth. If they can keep that going, they can get back in this game and do some damage, but Hargrove she has to be able to find it here. Has to be able to get back in it and find it right here. Headed to the 5th inning. Leading off will be Charlie Reeves, and the first pitch is fouled off right back to the screen to the right. Reeves, the left fielder, 299 batter, 4 triples, so she's got some speed.
Yes, she does.
Hargrove, the 0-1 pitch outside. A ball and a strike. If you're just joining us, the game got off to a very bad start quickly with a 3-run bomb by Haley Wilson in the top of the 1st inning and the 4th batter of the game. Hargrove will send a flare out caught by Stubblefield, and that'll be a pop 4 if you're scoring at home for the first out of the inning. It was a jam shot and just kind of fisted out to right, short right, which is actually the second baseman. It was even in a few steps for Stubblefield. And now Caitlin Roth, who has walked twice as the number 9 hitter, comes up to the plate. Hargrove on the first pitch, outside, ball 1. It's something about the Aaron Blackburn taking a run towards the pitcher that seems to have Hargrove thrown off by Caitlin Roth.
Yeah, because she does exactly the same thing.
And there is a strike call on the outer half. I think that's the first strike called on Roth tonight.
It is.
As again, we mentioned, she takes a running start towards the pitcher out of the box. Hargrove, ball 2 outside.
Which I still don't understand that, but I still don't understand why they run out the front of the box like that.
Yep, softball. There she took a stab at it, a stab bunt, and missed it, did Roth. And she was about, I would say, 3 feet in front of the box, which is about 5 or 6 feet out in front of home plate when she took a stab at that. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here.
Definitely not baseball, huh?
No, you don't see that. Could you imagine Mike Napoli running out there?
Running out the front of the box. I got it.
A 2-2 pitch to Roth. And that one's upstairs, ball 3.
Hey, she has to be a good 3 foot. Close to 3.5 foot outside the box.
Payoff pitch coming from Hargrove here to the number 9 hitter who has walked twice already in this game. Right in front of Peyton Blythe. And the pitch is flared down to Griffin. Throws it over to first. Anderson for the out. Great play from Griffin to Anderson, 5-3. And that is the second out of the inning. And Hargrove quickly with 2 outs. But the dangerous, ever so dangerous Peyton Blythe stepping up to the plate. Leadoff hitter bats a .505 for the year. She's been hit by a pitch in the first inning, bounced to second in the second, and singled in the fourth. Hargrove winds and deals, and this one swung on and popped up mile high. Griffin has it at third base for the third out. 1 pitch, 1 out, and a big out at that. Pop 5, and we're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. 9-3. Need a bunch of bloops and a bunch of blasts. We'll be right back. A word from Douglas Propane.
My tenured drivers are 5 to 7 years, and then our combined experience. The benefit of the era that we live in is the smartphone era. Any of my staff have the ability at a moment's notice to pick up the phone, and my drivers can call my service staff, and my service can call my driver staff, and everyone can get a hold of us. And then we have a staff 24-hour answering service.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
And now the closer, if you will, is coming in for Hughes Springs. It is Marisol Kennedy. And that's the way they do it. Lanier goes 4, and Kennedy comes in for the last 3, and they are jumping around. They've got the song Jump Around going, and Hughes Springs, they are jumping around. They smell it. They smell a trip to Austin, and they are jumping around like they have already bought their tickets in their hotel rooms. But I think Peyton Streetman and company may still have something to say about that. Down by 6 in the bottom of the 5th inning. It has been done before.
Yes, it has. As the umpire throws back to home.
Streetman steps in the box as we start the bottom of the 5th. Kennedy now on the mound, and she is a flamethrower, and she does punch out people. And the pitch in there. It is not. It is low for ball 1. Right over the plate but apparently right underneath the knees of Streetman. 1 ball, no strikes. Hughes Springs, 9 runs on 6 hits. Howe, 3 runs on 4 hits. And the pitch swung on, flared right back at Kennedy. Off of her glove, Streetman's going to be safe. A rocket right back to Kennedy. Somehow she got some leather on it, but it bounced out of her glove. Nice reflexes there, but Streetman hit a rope right back at her. So give Streetman a single, a very hard single, right back up the middle. Woo. That is dangerous. And now Hargrove with her sleeve still rolled up. Nobody out. Streetman at first base. And the pitch, slow, but upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Off-speed pitch.
Yeah, that, everything's so close. I mean, baseball's a little different, but softball's so much closer. And those balls coming back hard like that scare me.
Kennedy with the pitch. Swung on and missed. That was the heater, and Hargrove missed it as it was up high. Let her high and inside. Right in the kitchen. The 1-1 pitch. Outside and high, ball 2. Snap throw down to first, and Streetman is back. Kennedy in the back of the rubber, making some kind of signal towards the dugout. Shakes her hip a little bit, now throws, and that one is just a little bit low. 3 balls and a strike. And Hargrove working this one right here. Need base runners, a bunch of bloops, and a bunch of blasts. Here's a shot, or actually the pitch is in there for a strike. Full count now. The 3-1 pitch, I thought Hargrove was going to be looking for that one. But now we have a full count. And the payoff pitch, Kennedy fires. Shot down the right side off the net, foul. Down by 6, you can't hit a 6-run homer. You just need some base hits and you need some base runners. A walk is okay. Kennedy turns that hip just a little bit right before she goes into her windup. And the pitch swung on, flared down to right field, and it's going to be foul ground, but caught by the right fielder and now dropped. The ball is dead as the right fielder, Caitlin Roth, came down the line to make the catch into foul ground. She made the catch for a moment and then it popped out. So they called foul ball, no catch, dead ball, and we're going to do it again. 3-2 count. And Tish Thompson was saying that the ball came out on a transfer, but that's not what happened. She wanted the out call, but that's not how it happened. The ball rolled out. So here's the payoff pitch. Kennedy, and it is ball 4. A great at bat by Hargrove, draws the walk, and the Lady Bulldogs have 2 on, nobody out, and Stubblefield up at the plate, down 9-3, a chance to cut this game in half. Stubblefield looks straight ahead, breathes deeply, shakes her shoulders a little bit. Kennedy deals, swung on and a drive, hit well to left field, going back to the track, up and at the wall, making the catch. The runners advance, or at least Streetman advances. Hargrove stays put at first base. And Coach Martin's looking over there going, why didn't you advance? But nonetheless, Streetman moves over to third. Hargrove drew the walk, stays at third. Streetman comes over, or stays at first. Streetman comes over to third, just shy of getting out of here as Stubblefield hit the long ball that came up just a little bit short. And now Anderson steps up. 1 out. Kennedy turns to the right a little bit. Now she's ready. Right over the plate, right back to the screen. Would have been right to us if the net wouldn't have been in the way.
Right. We're going to get a souvenir.
Souvenir. A yellow ball. 1 out, bottom of the 5th. Runners at the corners for Howe with Kayla Anderson at the plate. The senior graduated a few hours ago. A chance to cut the game in half right here with one big fly. Kennedy's pitch. Up and in, swung on and missed. That one must have looked like a watermelon to Kayla Anderson as she took a big rip at it, came up empty. 9-3. You just need some base runners here. Just cut away at it a little bit. Kennedy ready to deal, and the pitch outside, but swung on, dribbled out in front of the plate. And Kennedy dribbles it a little bit, and now she's got Streetman in a rundown, but goes back to third, and now the bases are juiced. So it turns out to be a good thing. Anderson just dribbled it out in front of the mound. Kennedy couldn't handle it. Streetman almost got tangled up at third, but she worked herself back to the bag. So now Streetman's at third, Hargrove's at second, and Anderson is at first.
And this young lady coming up to bat hit a home run Thursday night.
Well, now would be a good time to do it. Again, as
Peyton
Griffin.
She did. She sent one just over, maybe a little to the east of the scoreboard.
And now you can hear the Howe faithful up on their feet. They are in it now. Bags packed. Griffin at the plate. One out. Corners in and the outfield straight away. And here's a flare back to the screen. Now, Charlie Reeves in the left is playing back towards almost to the warning track. But medium deep in center, medium deep in right. But Hughes Springs expecting Griffin to hammer one here, and she does, but it's right back up to the screen, right back at us, and goes over the net, and about 3 rows in front of us. You almost got your souvenir.
We did. We almost got it.
Well, the window's open. You could have just grabbed out there.
Just reached up there and grabbed it.
9-3. No balls, 2 strikes quickly on Peyton Griffin with 2 foul balls. Big moment here in Commerce. Kennedy deals. Called strike 3 at the letters. Up and in. Griffin did not like it. Storms away back to the dugout, but she does go back to a jog, but she did not like that pitch at all. I can hardly blame her on that. That one has not been called a strike all night, but it was right there. As a big out, as a backwards K in the book for the second out. And now Ross at the plate with the bases loaded. Ross not a big power threat, more of a slasher. But you don't need a power threat. You just need some runs. 2 outs, though. And Kennedy deals, and that ball's high. It's almost the same pitch that Griffin was called out on a moment ago. But it goes for the first ball right here.
You know, you just got to get something out there and, get a couple in.
Kennedy on the rubber, deals the ball bouncing right back up the middle. This is going to be trouble, and Ross is safe at first base, and Streetman scores. The bases are still loaded. So all the runners advance on the single by Danny Ross, and now Cameron Fulencheck has a chance to be a hero here, as the lead has been cut to 9-4. Howe still down by 5 here in the bottom of the 5th, but the bases are juiced. And Fulencheck at the plate. First pitch outside, ball 1. Emily Sanders waits on deck, and she can hit the long ball.
Yes, she can.
But again, you don't really have to rely on the long ball. You just need a couple of bloops and blasts. There are a couple of Texas leaguers right here will do the trick. Fulencheck waits and takes a strike on the outer edge. It's 1-1. Danny Ross at first, Kayla Anderson at second, and Madison Hargrove at third. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Fulencheck up, deals, swings and misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fulenchek got one up and in, pulled the trigger and came up a little bit empty. And now the catcher, Kennedy Northam, wants to go out and talk to Marisol Kennedy with a 1 ball and 2 strike count. 2 outs here. This is a big pitch. And this is a big out if Hughes Springs can come up with it, but Cameron Fulenchek goes over to talk to Emily Sanders a little bit. Been teammates and best friends for a long time. They slap hands, and now Fulenchek comes back. Waiting to come back in the box, and she does. And Marisol Kennedy steps on the rubber. Makes a twist, and now deals, throws inside, fouled at the plate. Just got a piece of it on the high hard one. And the count remains 1-2. The umpire giving some time here, kicked the rubber pellets off the white plate. Yeah. Just giving some time to breathe. Let everybody breathe a little bit. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Bases juiced, Fulenchek at the plate, and the pitch outside, ball 2. Coach Martin give a little bit of encouragement to Cameron Fulenchek. Steps down the line, claps 3 times. Fulenchek goes back to the box, calls time, now steps in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a brilliant moment to get back in the game here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and deals, and a swung on and missed. Cameron Fulenchek goes down, and Kennedy gets out of a bases-loaded jam as Coach Martin claps and says it's okay, we'll have another shot. 9-4, as the Lady Bulldogs have scored a run in each of the last 3 innings. Just need to keep putting zeros on the board on the other side. We'll be right back.
For my family, life is a series of celebrations, from my newest born cousin to my grandmother. We all partake in births, weddings, and funerals. Wherever we celebrate, we need to feel welcome. That's why we choose Scoggins Funeral Home in Howe. Scoggins Funeral Home understands our needs. Talk to the caring staff at Scoggins Funeral Home. Call 903-532-5577 or visit scogginsfuneralhome.com. Abby's Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. Give them a call, 903-487-8860. Abby's Restaurant.
Well, here we go to the top of the 6th inning. We're running out of time a little bit here for the Lady Bulldogs. 9-4, Hughes Springs leads. They've had 3 innings of 3 crooked numbers of the number 3, and that is spelled the number 9.
And again, that's math.
That's math. Well, the Lady Bulldogs started out slow, but had a 2-run, 3rd inning, and then have put a run on the board in each of the last 2 innings, but have squandered golden opportunities as Marisol Kennedy and Zoe Lanier have made the right pitches at the right time and had a little bit of luck on their side. But Hargrove toes the rubber again here to start the 6th inning. It'll be Kennedy Northam leading off. The left-handed batter with her foot on the line. Hargrove's first pitch is called strike on the outside part of the plate. No balls and a strike. Dreams of Austin at stake here, as Howe has never been to the state tournament in softball. And Hargrove deals, and there's a little flare down the 3rd baseline. It's going to be caught by Aaron Blackburn, the shortstop, coming over behind Peyton Griffin to make the out, and that'll go as a pop 6 for the first out of the inning. And now Hargrove has retired 4 in a row with Shelby Flicking coming to the plate. Flicking so far tonight has had a sac bunt, a single and an RBI, and a pop 7. Hargrove deals, and there's ball 1 way upstairs as Ross was barely able to hang on to it as it went by. And she did glove it, but it almost took her arm with it. The ball and no strikes here at Commerce. Hargrove on Shelby flicking. Left-handed batter. Scoots up in the box. And now a ball 2 called just inside. Just off the plate. Hargrove still with her sleeves rolled all the way up to the top. Facing Flicking here with 2 balls and no strikes. And the pitch, Flicking has no interest in swinging the bat at all, as there's a strike called. She was not interested in taking the bat off her shoulders whatsoever during that pitch. But now with 2 balls and a strike, she might think about it, but she was not going to swing at all until she saw a strike. Hargrove with the 2-1 pitch, 1 out. And that is a soft tosser outside for ball 3. 9-4. Hughes Springs in the lead as Hargrove slams the ball in her glove again. She's ready, and the pitch outside, ball 4. Oh, that's a strike call. Strike call on the outside part of the plate. That one. Wow. So we have a full count now, which I thought surely was ball 4 there, but must have stuck right at the edge. Here's Hargrove's deal, and this one is slashed to the first baseman right by the bag, and hard hit out to Emily Sanders, who fields it quickly and gets it in, but a single for Shelby Flicking. That one was smashed right by Kayla Anderson, who had no chance to do anything with it. And now Haley Wilson steps up, and she's already hit a 3-run blast and a single. And the first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. Great pitch there by Hargrove. 9-4, Hughes Springs in the lead. Hargrove needs to shut them down quickly right here. 1 out. Runner at first base. Wilson a big hitter, as we've seen. Hargrove's next pitch is swung on right back to Hargrove, who doubles off, Flicking, and that is the inning. A double play liner that was hit right back at Hargrove, who quickly threw to Anderson at first to double them off. And we head to the bottom of the 6th. 9-4, a couple of bloops and a couple of blasts. And the Lady Bulldogs are right back in this thing. Be right back.
The Howe Athletic Booster Club invites you to become a supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
The type of kids we have, they're just hard workers and do anything you ask.
Memberships are $25 and will be available at all home games. All proceeds benefit high school and middle school athletic programs. Please join the Howe Athletic Booster Club in our efforts to support our hometown kids.
When people come here, you know, it's something they can be proud of.
What is Cavender Home Theater? Do we only do those big fancy media rooms? Heck no. We started in 1978 installing TV antennas. Guess what? We still do and get over 40 Dallas channels that way for our customers. Along the way, we had requests to install speakers, mount TVs, or install dish, so now we do it all. From hooking up a TV with a soundboard to whole house audio with all the bells and whistles. Visit CavenderHT.com to see all we have to offer, or call 903-892-3499.
Well, Michael, we head to the bottom of the 6th. You need 5 to tie.
You need 5 to tie.
You can't hit a 5-run homer.
No.
So the Lady Bulldogs have done a great job in the past couple of innings of getting a lot of base runners, just haven't been able to capitalize on it. You got to start capitalizing on it.
Right, we're starting with Emily Sanders, and then we're rolling back to the top of our batting order. So that's you know, we just got to get the 5. Just slow and steady.
Well, pardon me, you mentioned that Sanders will lead off. And the leadoff batter is so important in this type of situation. You've got to be able to get on base somehow, some way, by way of hit by pitch, walk, it doesn't matter. Base hit, you have to do whatever it takes to get on base right here. And I'm sure Emily Sanders, another one who graduated a few hours ago, will be trying to find every way she possibly can to get on first base. 9-4, Hughes Springs in the lead, Class 3A, Division I, Region 2 final. Kennedy's pitch is an off-speed pitch, a little high and outside apparently, as Kennedy stares back at the umpire to try to figure out where that one was. After the strike call she got on Griffin earlier, and she deals here. This one's fouled right straight back to the screen, and it's 1-1. That one will always be one that the strike three to Peyton Griffin was that was a tough one.
Yes, it was.
There's an inside and high pitch. Backs Sanders away a bit, and we go to 2 balls and a strike. Coach Dusek at coaching first base, and Coach Martin at third. Kennedy's pitch swung on, and that's hit off the end of the bat to left, and caught by Charlie Reeves for the first out. And Sanders flies to left, and that'll bring up Blackburn with 1 out. That one just hit a little bit off the end of the bat, or Sanders, if that one was on a sweet spot, I think there's a blue van out there that one would have touched up a little bit. Blackburn in the left-handed box. 1 foot already headed towards first base, the front foot. And this one's on the outer edge, strike 1 call. Blackburn has the back left foot near the white stripe, and the right foot up front on the back stripe. So she's wide open at the plate, and the pitch swung on, fouled straight back. Blackburn in the past has been able to do that run, cut, bunt thing right at the pitcher, but haven't seen much of that tonight. She stood on that back leg and really tried to hammer the ball somewhere. Kennedy's pitch is upstairs a little bit. Blackburn thought about it, but held the bat back. It's 2 balls and a strike. Again, this is the runner you'd like to have on.
Right. Yes, it is. That's, especially with the speed she has.
And there's a dribbler right back up the mound, up the middle, and Blackburn easily is going to be awarded first base there, as it was just dribbled back just past the pitcher. And Blackburn's so fast that she was there before almost the ball was.
Right. And that this is how we started this last inning. So.
Blackburn's so fast. One time she hit a ball up the middle, knocked herself out sliding into second.
Yeah, there you go.
Kennedy with 1 out, Streetman at the plate. Slow pitch, and upstairs for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Blackburn at first. There is no need to steal this bag right here. You need base runners. That runner means more at first base than it does at second. The risk of making it out is not worth it, but Blackburn is fast. I'll give you that. But I would imagine she's going to stay put right here. Streetman at the plate. Kennedy winds and deals, and that's inside. 2 balls and no strikes. At this point, you need lots of runners.
Yeah.
You don't need a runner in scoring position necessarily. You just need the runner on the bag. Kennedy ready. The 2-0 pitch is upstairs. 3. Oh, that's a high strike call. A late call. And now the umpire's really fallen in love with that pitch right at the letters, or maybe even above the letters.
Yeah, that was a little high and outside, I thought.
2 balls and a strike. As Kennedy spins, deals, and that's inside. 3 balls and a strike. So the Lady Bulldogs are doing a great job of being patient and making good at bats. Since this 3rd inning, the Lady Bulldogs have done a great job at the plate. They've hit into some bad luck, but they've had some great quality at bats. Kennedy winds, deals, swung on down the third base line, but it's foul. Just out of the reach of the new third baseman, which is Pearl Perry.
Pearl Perry.
Pearl is a rather tall young lady. Tall and lean. Blackburn at first, one out. Bottom of the sixth. Streetman at the plate, swung on and missed. Out number 2. Hargrove will step up to the plate. With a runner at first in Blackburn. A very humid night, and Marisol Kennedy goes to the back of the circle and wipes the sweat off her brow. And now spins, and Hargrove was out front expecting a fastball. And she swings and misses at the off-speed pitch. It's 0-1. Coach Martin tells her to calm down. Claps his hands about 5 to 7 times, sends her back in the box. Stubblefield waits on deck with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Kennedy pitches up and in. And that's a ball and a strike. Again, you just need base runners. And Stubblefield just missed a 3-run blast earlier as she hit one right up against the wall that Charlie Reeves caught. And here's the 1-1 pitch, a little bouncer out in front of the plate, it goes foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hargrove, and it's getting to the point now where it's business time. And this is a tough pitcher. This is not an easy pitcher to face. You've really got to battle. She has a flaming fastball and a great off-speed pitch. She strikes out a lot of hitters. Marisol Kennedy deals. It's outside, ball 2. So now you think whatever the best pitch is that Kennedy has in her arsenal, it's probably coming right here on a 2-2 pitch with 2 outs. Hargrove stands right-handed batter's box. Kennedy steps on the rubber, turns her hips, now deals, and that one is swung on and missed. Hargrove goes down, and Kennedy gets out of the inning again. We're heading to the 7th. The Lady Bulldogs down 9-4. Need one more quick inning. Hold them down and come back and have a big one in the bottom of the 7th. We'll be right back.
A word from Douglas Propane.
My tenured drivers are 5 to 7 years, and then our combined experience, you know, the benefit of the era that we live in is the smartphone era. Any of my staff have the ability at a moment's notice to pick up the phone, and my drivers can call my service staff, and my service can call my driver staff, and everyone can get a hold of us. And then we have a staff 24-hour answering service.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
Michael Mosier, give us your synopsis of what's been going on in this game.
You know, Hughes Springs is a pretty salty softball team. Howe's a pretty salty softball team. Just hasn't been the Bulldogs' night. You know, they hit into the play. They don't. Everything seems to be going to the right spot at the right time. They just can't. They get caught up, unfortunately.
Well, it's been one of those where, you know, if something could go wrong and at a inopportune time, it seems like it has. At least it did early in the game, and it has happened that way with runners all over the bags too. And the Lady Bulldogs have not been able to get that big hit. Now, A lot of that's attributed to good pitching, and Lanier and Kennedy are that. They are great pitchers. This is the #1 ranked team in the state, so let's not take anything away from Hughes Springs. However, the Lady Bulldogs, who are used to getting big timely hits, haven't been able to do it in this series.
No, they've struggled.
And they've had opportunities.
They have. Bases have been loaded, what, twice?
So Hargrove is going to be a literal bulldog and fight through this entire game. And she deals up high, ball one. She has not had her best outing at all tonight. She has been rocky from the get-go. The very first batter was able to reach base on a hit by pitch, if that tells you anything about how this game has gone. Hargrove, another high fastball for 2 balls and no strikes. But she's battled, and she's been gritty, and she's rolled up her sleeves, literally, to try to get the job done tonight. It's just not been the best of night for her. And she struggles here with a 3-ball and no strike count. And she goes back to the circle. Now steps behind the rubber and finally on the rubber. And there is a strike call in the inside corner. But we will say what we have about Hargrove, but lately, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row she set down. And there's a walk to end that streak. So another leadoff walk for Hughes Springs, and that has been really the nuisance of Hargrove all night tonight. She's been pitching out of trouble from the beginning of every inning, except for the last 2. And here's the pitch. It's a bunt right in front of the plate. Ross Fields throws to first as Stubblefield covers and gets the out. So it'll go 2-4 on the putout for Kinsley Eccles. And that's the first out of the inning, and that will move down to second Marisol Kennedy, who had walked to lead off. And now Abby McKinney steps up to the plate.
Looks like we're fixing to have a pinch runner for the pitcher. Oh no, we got a pitch a hitter.
Well, this is Pearl Perry that came in for Lanier when Kennedy went from third base to pitcher. Pearl Perry came in for Lanier at third base, so she takes that spot in the order of Abby McKinney, the designated player. So here's Pearl Perry, and she swings at the first pitch and fouls it off right back to the screen for strike 1. So the Lady Bulldogs are going to have a shot in the bottom half of the inning, but they're going to need 5 as of right now to tie. And there's a runner at second base with 1 out here. Hargrove winds and deals, and that's almost a hit batter up by her head for ball 1 rather. So a ball and a strike, 1 out, runner at second. Lady Bulldogs trailing 9-4. Hargrove's pitch swung on and missed. We haven't had too many swings and misses from Hughes Springs tonight. That may actually even be the first.
It may be.
Hargrove has not struck out a batter in this game. And there's a pitch swung on and fouled back. And Coach Martin went to the senior and said, this is your game, and you're going to start it and you're going to finish it.
She's doing, you know.
And the pitch swung on and missed. She picked a good time to get 2 swings and misses. As there is out number 2 as Pearl Perry goes down swinging. And now Charlie Reeves, the left fielder, will step up. Right-handed batter. Lady Bulldogs need a big out right here. So far, Reeves is 0 for 3 as she takes ball 1 right there. She has bounced to short, flied to center, and pop to second. Runner at second base, 2 outs. Hargrove deals. Swung on and missed, and now Hargrove heating up a little bit here in the back half of the game. Digging down, and that true Bulldog pride showing for Madison Hargrove right here. And the pitch outside, ball 2. Hargrove has put up 3 zeros on the board against Hughes Springs, but she's put up 3 threes on the board as well. Here's the pitch just inside. Called strike, 2-2.
Wow.
That might have been the same pitch that Griffin got.
May have.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on second, and the pitch swung on and bounced foul in the Lady Bulldog dugout. Looked like a Mosier was down in there, got in the way of that ball.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
So you got a girl coming through the program.
Yeah, I do.
So you're gonna be having a lot of fun here for the next few years.
Well, she's actually going to be a senior next year.
Well, next year anyway.
Yeah.
There's a swing and a miss. Hargrove is out of the inning, and we talked about her not having a strikeout tonight. She put 2 on the board right there, and if that's going to be her final performance, that was a good one right there in the top half of the 7th inning. She was a Bulldog tonight, showed that pride, and we're going to go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Michael, let's keep it right here, and let's talk about this a little bit. Stubblefield's going to lead off. Anderson's coming up. Griffin, Ross, Fulencheck. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Fulencheck is the tying run as of right now.
Well, let's make it happen. What can we do? What do we need to do?
Well,
you know, they have done really good. And they've pulled themselves out several times this year.
You know what? I have to tip my cap to these girls. They have gone 4 years with 4 different head coaches. They are a highly talented base softball team.
Yes,
they are basically a travel team. Every one of these girls play at a very high level, and they've done it with new skippers every year without any consistency. And you know, you tend to think, what if? You know, and I know some of the softball moms would love to see what this group would have done with a one coach for the whole time.
Right.
But you know, it didn't happen. But you do always wonder, what if there was some consistency throughout that program? And you know, that's the hard thing about high school sports is coaches come and go all the time. And it's hard to be consistent in a Class 3A high school program.
It is, because some of them, this is their starting point to move on somewhere else.
Yep. So here we go with the bottom of the 7th inning. Do or die right here. Kennedy's first pitch, and that's an off-speed pitch outside. And Stubblefield lets it go by. 1 ball, no strikes. Stubblefield just missed a 3-run shot that was caught up against the wall by Charlie Reeves earlier in the game. And Kennedy's next pitch is on the outside corner, strike 1. So a ball and a strike here in the bottom of the 7th. Kennedy has that little hip wiggle right before she turns and fires. She'll stand straight at the batter and then turn to the right just a little bit. And now deals. And that's up and in. And that'll take the count 2-1. Our view is just a little bit off from behind the plate. We're back to the right a little bit behind home plate. So that inside strike is somewhat difficult for us to see. I'll give you that. The pitch here is swung on and hammered in the alley. Left center field up against the wall. Bounces once, and Stubblefield heading for 2. She dives in, rolls, and flops over safe with a double. That turf may have grabbed her a little bit, but she rolled over and hugged the bag, and a leadoff double for Tori Stubblefield. So you see there's a chance.
There's a chance. There's always a chance.
Now Kayla Anderson, with all kinds of playoff experience, All of these girls have massive amounts of playoff experience. So you would think that a situation like this is not too big for them. They've been here and done this. And Anderson steps to the plate with a runner at second base. Kennedy's outside on her first pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. Peyton Griffin, another tall, striking athlete, right behind her in the on-deck circle. Anderson and Griffin are very similar in stature.
Yeah, they are. They're almost the same height.
Kennedy's next pitch is hammered to left. That's going
run.
back. That is up, and that is kiss it goodbye. Kayla Anderson has gone yard. A 2-run shot in the bottom of the 7th. And the Lady Bulldogs now trail 9-6 with nobody out. Anderson is being mobbed at home plate. She took an inside pitch and hammered it to left. And the Lady Bulldogs now down by 3. So you say there's a chance. Peyton Griffin, who looks very similar to Kayla Anderson, will now step in the box. Kennedy's first pitch. Swung on and bounced to second. Picked up and thrown over to first. There's the first out of the inning, 4-3 if you're scoring at home. Danny Ross will step up to the plate. And Ross needs some sort of a Texas leaguer, a bounce over the mound, even a bunt, slap, base hit. Just get on board. We have to say this. We talked about Kayla Anderson having tons of playoff experience and the moment not being too big for her, and she showed it by sending that Kennedy pitch right over the left center field wall. Kennedy's pitch to the left-handed batter is up and outside for ball 1. Ross not showing bunt, not moving in the box. She just steps in the box, bounces off the plate twice, now does turn and show bunt, now brings it back. And the pitch is in there just low. 2 balls and no strikes for Danny Ross. And I'll say this, the Lady Bulldogs aren't going away without a fight. 1 out, bottom of the 7th. Kayla Anderson has cut the lead to 9-6 on a 2-run shot over the left field wall. Kennedy rocks, deals, flared back to the screen. 2 balls and a strike. That pitch was on the outer edge and away a little bit from Ross, but she got a piece of it off the end of the bat and slapped it back to the screen. And here's Kennedy dealing, winding, up and outside. That time Ross laid off that same pitch to send it to 3 balls and a strike. I think I've lost 5 pounds up here in this.
Probably.
There's no air.
There's no air. It's hot. The lights are on. When you turn the lights off.
And the pitch is swung on, popped up right behind home plate. Is it going to make the stands? And it barely does. And a scramble for it from kids. And that's a good job of getting that ball, but you got to give it back. He wants to keep it. Hey, I got a souvenir.
Right.
Three balls and 2 strikes. A big pitch here in the career of Danny Ross and for these Lady Bulldogs. Nobody on, 1 out, bottom of the 7th, desperately needing a base runner. Ross in the box. Kennedy's pitch swung on and missed. Ross goes down swinging in what could be her final at bat of her career. If you're going to go down, you got to go down swinging.
Right.
And now hitting for full and check will be Maddie Mullins at the plate. Mullins with her first appearance of the night with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. She swings and hits a dribbler out to shortstop who throws on to first, and Hughes Springs is headed to state. The Lady Bulldogs have had the best year that they have ever had in the history of Lady Bulldog softball. But tonight, it's Hughes Springs who gets to celebrate and jump on each other in between first and second base. And the Lady Bulldogs are lined up at the bag on third in orderly fashion. And the two teams now will cross and shake hands. And it has been a storybook season.
It has.
One that will be remembered here in Howe for many, many years, and one that will be talked about for even longer.
You know, they have nothing to be ashamed of at all. Absolutely nothing.
Well, they are the greatest team in Lady Bulldog history, and there is no shame in that.
No, there's not.
Coach Martin will go to talk to the players, and, you know, we do this in football, and we, you know, it's always the sad moment, and I'm always hesitant to talk about seniors, and, you know, because it's so hard for it to be the last time. And, you know, dadgummit, for these seniors that graduated today to have that great moment earlier today, to now have this to remember as just only a few hours later they played their last game. But what a tremendous career for seniors like Cameron Fulencheck and Maddie Mullins and Emily Sanders and Danny Ross and Kayla Anderson. And Madison Hargrove, who was such a Bulldog tonight, didn't have her best stuff, but she fought and fought and fought her way through it. Erin Blackburn, the speedster. And those young ladies will certainly be lost. And they will missed, I should say. Yeah. Big misses.
Blackburn will be back.
I'm sorry.
Emily Sanders is a senior.
Yes, Blackburn is not.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
She'll be back, and you know, there are kids coming back that, you know.
There are, and you have to look at the ones that are coming back are really talented. You look at Peyton Streetman will be coming back. Fritter will be right in the heart of that lineup. Yeah. And Tori Stubblefield will be back, and they will have a new coach again next year, another brand new head coach. So now Tish Thompson is getting the ice bucket treatment right behind the pitcher's mound, and they are headed to Austin and all smiles. But the Lady Bulldogs have nothing to hang their heads about, as they've had the greatest year in the program's history, which started in 1993. So
that's pretty good.
And this group of seniors have had such a great run over the past several years, making the playoffs and each year, and going on long trips in the playoffs nearly every year, despite the consistency from the top. So it's been a great performance. We've loved seeing these girls play. We have statistics. Thank you. We have statistics that are just in. The Lady Bulldogs were led tonight by Erin Blackburn, who went 2 for 4 at the plate. Streetman also went 2 for 4 with an RBI. Madison Hargrove went 1 for 2 at the plate with an RBI and a walk. Tori Stubblefield went 1 for 4 with a run, but she just missed a 3-run shot, a launcher that was caught at the wall by Charlie Reeves. Kayla Anderson went 1 for 4 tonight with 2 RBI, and Peyton Griffin went 1 for 4 with a run scored. Going 0 for 3 tonight was Danny Ross and Cameron Fulencheck, and Maddie Mullins went 0 for 1 in her only trip to the plate tonight, and Emily Sanders went 0 for 3 as well, but she had an RBI tonight at the plate, as well as Ross did as well. So, you know, the Lady Bulldogs put 6 on the board, and when you do that with the pitching that they have, normally they win.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, the onslaught of Hughes Springs offensive attack, incorporated with their fine pitching by Lanier and followed up by Kennedy, they are just a formidable playoff team. And you know, hey, that's why they're ranked number 1 in the state.
Right. And, you know, we say that in football, and, you know, you say, you know, we don't like to say things like that. But Howe can say, hey, we lost to a potential state champion. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, you know what? And the football team has lost to the eventual state champions twice in the last 3 years. And hey, Hughes Springs very well could be the state champion this year down in Austin when they play there next week.
But there is no reason whatsoever that any of those girls should drop their head for anything.
No, what a great career. And I know there's a lot of tears, and it's very emotional down there, especially for the seniors. It's been a very, very emotional day to begin with. This is just the icing on the cake, and my heart goes out to those seniors, because I know how it is when you pull that helmet off for the last time. It's somewhat devastating. Tonight we on the mound, Madison Hargrove bulldogged her way to 7 innings pitched. She gave up 7 hits, 6 earned runs. She walked 7. Now that was the problem tonight. She walked 7 and only struck out 2, and the 2 came in the final frame. But she just battled. She had a tough night, but she battled through it, and she did the very absolute best that she could and battled her way through the game tonight.
Well, and that some of these seniors are moving on to collegiate careers. I wish them nothing but the best. I hate to see it end on this note, but they fought hard. They really did.
Well, I would rather see it end on this note than not making district or something like that. What a great display that they put on and represented Howe very greatly. They represented Howe so well they got the victory light turned on this year.
Right, they did, and that's great.
Well, it's been a great year, and I hate that our only broadcast of Lady Bulldogs softball ended up with a loss, but we'll keep working on that. But for everyone who's been a part of this one, and I first of all, I'm going to say thank you to Michelle Carney for all she does down there, taking pictures all year long. She does so much for these kids, and she does a lot of it, on her own dime.
Right.
And that is so appreciated. And we just want to, give her a shout out and thanks for all that she does. And we want to thank Michael Mosier for all that you do. And I know during a softball game there's not a whole lot of color analysts going on because this guy won't shut up a lot of times. But
that's all right. It doesn't hurt a thing. And we need to wish, Coach Dusick, she's leaving.
Yep.
Wish her luck in whatever her endeavors are.
Yep. There's a lot of coaches leaving. We wish them well, and we'll be turning the page. Coach Hudson's brought a new crew in, and we're excited to see that. So we will next see you in August when we flip the page, and it'll be football season. And we're anxious to see the wing tee and see if that slot tee can transfuse into the same type of success into the wing tee.